in October of this year, the Cardano Foundation is planning on attending an event that is allegedly supposed to have over 20,000 attendees. I'm not joking, because the Cardano Foundation from the 7th of October to the 8th of October is planning to go to Singapore, or should I say, more specifically, an event called Token 2049 in Singapore, and allegedly it's supposed to have that many people in attendance. So could you imagine the amount of exposure that Cardano could have as a result of that? But that's a big if, and I'll talk about more of the details in regard to this in today's video. But I just want to say, I am not telling anyone to do anything, and nothing I say is financial advice. So again, if we take a look at Token 2049, a dedicated Cardano booth there will allegedly feature 20 projects selected from across the ecosystem. So that's pretty impressive. Now, we have to take a look at it as well, in a sense where Token 2049, it's no joke, right? I mean, allegedly, the one in October is supposed to have, again, over 20,000 attendees from over 7,000 companies across over 160 countries. Not to mention there's going to be over 500 exhibitors with over 300 speakers, and not to mention over 1,000 side events during the broader Token 2049 week, right? So we got to let this sink in. The Cardano Foundation, they're not playing around. They're already planning to go to Brazil, and they're already planning to go to Zurich, Switzerland for the CV Summit 2026. And in Brazil, they're going to be going to Blockchain Rio. And then we see them making a post saying that, hey, you know what, we're going to be attending Token 2049. Now, we've already known that for quite a while, so it's really nothing new, but they made the reminder in regard to that. And I don't feel like that many people talked about how monumental Token 2049 could be when it comes to Cardano. So I think this does kind of highlight how the foundation isn't playing around, right? I mean, sure, they could have taken a different alternative route and advertised through an athlete or through a celebrity, but actually attending events, I think, is just a lot more logical in a sense where, especially for a project within this space, because the intent is to have developers build, right? It's to gain better adoption, have better enterprise adoption. Generally speaking, I would assume for many projects out there within this space. So naturally, it would only make sense that they attend events, in which case a lot of these enterprises and stuff do attend. Advertising through a celebrity or an athlete, it's cool for the retail side of things, but if the goal is enterprise adoption, which I think it is here, attending these more specialized events, it matters a lot more, in my opinion. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's a lot more effective indirect advertising anyways. I mean, this isn't really advertising in a literal sense, I would suppose, but it's kind of indirect, right? That's my point of view. Now, people like to say, well, why would anyone care about Cardano? Well, again, they're not just simply saying, oh, you know, we're this layer one blockchain and all this. What they're doing, again, is having a booth there that will feature 20 projects selected from across the ecosystem. So they're not just saying, oh, you know, we're good in all this. They're showing literal examples from 20 projects across the ecosystem. Not 5, not 10, 20. You know, let that sink in. They're not playing around. They're showcasing actual examples. It's like, for instance, the analogy that I would have here is like, for instance, a car dealership showing the brochure as opposed to actually showing the literal vehicle. Because looking at the brochure, it all seems cool. Let's take a look at the actual car. Let's sit inside the car. Let's see what happens, right? Test drive, maybe. So again, this is what's kind of going on when it comes to Cardano. Being at that event, I would say, they're showcasing that, hey, these are the projects that are across the ecosystem. This is what's possible. This is what we've done so far. What do you think? That's basically it. That's what they are kind of, I guess, showcasing, in my opinion. Will it have more people build on it as a result of this? I think maybe, just because, again, these people who are attending Token 2049, keep in mind, there's going to be individuals from over 7,000 companies. Even if just like a couple start building on Cardano just because of this event, it would already be a big success when it comes to Cardano. I mean, not in a sense that it means that it will for sure have good adoption, but if more people build on Cardano, what happens? If for whatever reason what they build gains traction, Cardano just kind of goes along with the ride. So it's not a bad thing at the end of the day. And again, the Van Rossum hard fork recently happened when it comes to Cardano. So I thought this was actually a pretty good time for them to start going to events, because Now, due to the Van Rossum hard fork, Cardano is allegedly a lot more secure. So now at these events, they can say, hey, you know what? The Van Rossum hard fork recently happened. Now it could very well allow for the foundation, so to speak, right? The building blocks for Leos moving forward, which is allegedly going to bring tremendous scalability when it comes to Cardano. Leos is still in the testnet. I mean, we saw the testnet when it comes to Leos not too long ago, but the mainnet is the real McCoy, so to speak. So those are some hypothetical possibilities that they could discuss. But again, ADA, ranked 14th in the world right now in terms of market cap within the space, still a pretty massive project, even though it's at around, 18 cents, 19 cents, around that. I'm not that concerned because at least I'm seeing the Cardano Foundation try. ADA being low, it's not the only one that's low. A bunch of projects are low. It's not only this. But the important thing is surviving and continuing to build. And I'm seeing that as of right now. And sure, ADA is so low to the point that going back to $1 is over 5 times away. But I don't really mind the dip anyways. Could it go back there? Yeah, I mean, we'll wait and see. But I saw $1 last year quite casually, might I add, right? So it wasn't even anything that spectacular anyways, considering how the all-time high is around $3. But you know what? That's pretty much it for today's video. I'm just still holding. I'm still waiting. But nonetheless, Cardano planning to attend Token 2049 in Singapore. I find that quite impressive, and I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward. So I want to say thank you so much for watching.